Jennifer Jackson was the first black woman to be a Playboy bunny and a centerfold in the magazine. She was featured as Miss March of 1965, tame by today's standards, but explosive for 1965. Jennifer Jackson's appearance marked a quiet yet groundbreaking moment in American media history, and it sparked an immediate and sharply divided reaction. Some readers celebrated her beauty and confidence, while others sent hate mail, canceled their Playboy Club memberships, or revoked their subscriptions entirely.
In 1964, at just 18 years old, Jennifer Jackson walked into the Chicago headquarters of Playboy, looking for secretarial work. But after meeting the stunning 5'9" college student, the folks at Playboy had something else in mind.
I applied for secretarial work, and right away they put me in a bunny costume,
she later recalled. Jackson became the youngest hire at the Playboy Club in Chicago, her hometown. At the time, bunnies were required to pay for their own costumes and repair them if they tore. They received no salary and worked only for tips. The seamstress responsible for those costumes was also an African-American woman. At the center of what would soon become a controversial decision was Hugh Hefner, a man who publicly aligned himself with the civil rights movement. Playboy was among the first major magazines at the time to acknowledge black women as beautiful in ways mainstream society often refused to. And yet, despite his civil rights advocacy, the Playboy brand largely upheld white-centric beauty standards. Throughout the 1960s, Playboy featured interviews with iconic black leaders, including the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali. The magazine also regularly published work by black writers such as James Baldwin and Alex Haley. The joke has always been, I only read Playboy for the articles. But if that were true, then they would have learned much about diversity. Hefner also insisted that every Playboy Club remain integrated. When a franchise discriminated, he bought it back. He donated money to major civil rights organizations as well. One of Hefner's closest relationships was with comedian and activist Dick Gregory, whose career took off after a 1961 performance at the Chicago Playboy Club. Their bond extended far beyond entertainment. In 1964, after the FBI had stopped searching, Hefner personally financed Gregory's mission to locate the bodies of James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Mickey Schwerner, the three murdered civil rights workers in Mississippi. Their disappearance had shaken the nation. But all of this activism existed alongside a magazine that visually continued to uphold white beauty ideals. And for many of Playboy's white readers, the idea of a black playmate simply didn't fit those standards. Still, many readers embraced Jennifer Jackson and applauded Playboy's decision. Jackson herself initially viewed the feature as a direct challenge to American beauty norms.
It was something to show the white community that there are beautiful black women, beautiful black people, which was disregarded. We weren't considered at all. We weren't part of Madison Avenue or Hollywood, the places that set beauty standards. All you saw in the movies were black maids,
she said.
This is African American History is American History.
Almost immediately after Jennifer Jackson began working as a bunny, Playboy photographer Pompeo Posar began urging her to pose nude for the magazine. Recalling the night of the shoot, Jackson said,
I didn't show what they show now, just the top, but still, it was risque.
To generate publicity, Hefner often sent new playmates on college tours. But this was still the era of civil rights protests and the last gasps of Jim Crow. Hefner told Jackson he couldn't extend her the same opportunity, that he had no way to adequately protect her. Her family's reaction was largely supportive. Her father even received the key to the Playboy Club. But shortly after the issue was published, the weight of the moment shifted. Jackson began to feel shame, not for her body, but for what posing might mean for her future. This was 1965, just 2 years after Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. Respectability politics were powerful, and for a young black woman in mid-1960s America, appearing nude in a mainstream men's magazine could close doors forever. Fan mail poured in, but so did hate mail. The cost of being first was high. Jackson carried that regret for decades. It wasn't until a 1999 Playmate reunion, more than 30 years later, that she said she finally found closure. While Jennifer Jackson was the first Black Playmate, she was not the first Black woman to appear on the cover of Playboy. That distinction belongs to Doreen Stern, who appeared on the cover of the October 1971 issue. After making Playboy history, Jennifer Jackson became a social worker. Today, she lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband.
Despite the controversy, despite the backlash, Jennifer Jackson's historic appearance forced white readers to confront their own biases about beauty. It challenged a segregated media landscape and opened a door, however slowly, for Black women to be seen in spaces that had long excluded them. Long before social media debates, Jennifer Jackson's image in Playboy challenged a nation still afraid of Black beauty. Her March 1965 centerfold didn't end racism in media, but it did crack the door open. And in American history, sometimes a crack becomes the beginning of a breakthrough. This has been African American History is American History. I'm Harlan Kearsley.
I'm Gloria Morgan. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't done so, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to African American History is American History.
Thanks again, and please stay safe. African American History is American History. Copyright H.C. Kearsley, 2025.